the Gnar pick is not terrible in this case because you do have to play more tempo-based in this game. You can't just pick something like a Mordekaiser or an Ornn in the top lane to try to deal with that top pressure, play it slow, when you're running something like a Samira that needs to get an early advantage when she's paired up against someone like a Kai'Sa who is going to scale better, very likely, towards the late game. So the Taliyah pick kind of set us down this path. They prioritized that super heavily. We're going to see if Kroko can get value, start getting some of those early objectives. Otherwise, I think that if Afreeca can control the top lane, they've got a great chance to scale well into those later objectives, those later game team fights.
Yeah, I agree. And also they've got this beautiful, 4-1 style of composition where if there is a collapse on the Camille, the Shen can be there with the Stand United. But let's see what happens as we get onto the Rift for game number 1. Live Sandbox versus the Afreeca Freaks.
Times so far this season, just by trying to make an aggressive play, and Dread is unseen here.
Yeah. Okay, Taunt is going to come through. There's the spear. Oh no, not actually able to land it. I think that must have hit a minion because it wasn't empowered, and Effort's able to walk away. Oh dear. Yep, we do have Fly freeing himself up here in the mid lane. That one is going to be equalized as Effort throws down the Solar Flare, looking for Lehends, gets through. But Lehends is able to stop a lot of that damage now as Fly's being turned on, has to flash to get over the wall as Kroko's going down low. There's a shockwave, but only lands onto Dread. Keen actually able to avoid it, but now Leo's trying to pop off. Bang looking to try and escape as there's the Stand United to keep him alive. Fly limping away from the fight as Summit is down so low. Mega Gnar is so close, gets himself a slight shield. No one's dead yet. This is just ridiculous. Only Kroko falling as Leo finally gets that S rank back and he's able to grab some kills. Bang also able to lock down his former teammate as a teleport back in here from Fly gets his full health bar as Summit could be in trouble. Fate just gets rid of Lehends though as Fly gets underneath the turret, locks down a kill. But I think a lot of people's eyes are going to be on Dread though. Dread hasn't exactly found the success that he's looking for. Fly gets over to the right side of this wall here, but walks into the shove. There's the shockwave, but it doesn't actually matter. They're able to trade it 1-for-1 as Dread. Can he land the spear?
If he doesn't, if he can't make a play here, then this is all for nothing.
Well, here's the Stand United. We're trying to keep Keen alive as he is going to get rid of that turret aggro, and Dread, he is there. He's able to grab that kill, but now Fate has teleported in. This turret getting real mad as Keen down to about 100 health. Shockwave comes in, actually pins Fly against the wall and locks down Dread for that kill at the same time. Deathray not nearly enough damage.
Bang is playing the Kai'Sa, so we're looking for that late game as once again Kroko engaging.
Yep. We'll see where that seismic shove is going to go as Fly gets himself back underneath the turret, but does need to deal with these minions as Lehend's going to turn up. Kroko is definitely dead, but so is Fly. Shockwave, just for insurance at the end there, is now Summit underneath his turret, and Keen's going for a dive. Does manage to lock down the ultimate, but he's just going to die. That's going to be a double kill going over to the Gnar, and I'm almost done, Wolf. Like, this game is a disaster. Soul is now, they're getting collapsed upon. Here's the Weaver's Wall as Fly gonna flash over it. Dread, he's gonna try and pounce his way through as the slow comes down with that Solar Flare, but not able to actually land the stun game. I'm gonna be really worried because I don't think that that's exactly the learning that you should be taking.
No, certainly not. I mean, look at the vision control here for Live Sandbox. Meanwhile, Keen is in the bot lane. He has teleport, but I feel like even if he teleported now, it's just too slow. They need to be more aggressive, and their comp doesn't have hard engage.
Well, Lehends, he's looking for some taunts. Effort going down pretty low here to the Baron as Dread is in position. We'll see whether he can land a smite. Jumps over, not able to actually get the smite down, but they are able to take the inhibitor on the bottom side of the map as Dread does land a spear. Doesn't really do too much as the Weaver's Wall is just going to block off any sort of defense from Afreeca, and this bottom lane inhibitor turret is going to be taken. Inhibitor should be pretty comfortable as well. Here for Live Sandbox is Afreeca trying to hold on to their mid lane. They don't want two inhibitors to be broken as Keen once again is spending some time with an inhibitor turret, but the split push not necessarily working in favor of Afreeca as that's two inhibitors that have been taken off the map, and now Live Sandbox should be able to get down. Good flash from Summit as Lehends. He's got in here as well. The taunt comes down, Bang, looking to try and lock down the Mega Gnar. That's a three-man shockwave, and it is all over for the Afreeca Freaks, of course. They're going to let this one go down in an attempted dive, much like what they attempted earlier on in the day, and this is just donezo. Live Sandbox will be pushing through for the win, and this Afrika Freak squad are going to need to have a bit of a chat after this one to see what they can do to adjust, because I think we're going to have to go down a pretty long list.
Yeah, I think so too. Unfortunately, from Dread's build to, unfortunately, his Nidalee play on such high priority.
A lot of work done by Fly, but it was inconsequential at the end, and even Keen, we were focusing on him being sort of the way of saving the squad, but we're not exactly able to get on the board. And I think I want to draw your attention to all of the little icons on the left of the screen.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You look at the damage dealt and the gold differential in this game, it doesn't tell you a whole lot, but if you look at the objectives, from double heralds to all drakes taken, Elder Drake, Baron, and I mean, that was the story of this game, was Live Sandbox just...
If it's feeling a little bit dry in your house, you know, my throat's actually feeling a little bit dry today as well, but that's because I don't have a humidifier.
There you go.
Just completely ruined. As we're going to have a look at these team comps one last time. Afrika with a little bit more focus on team fight with this particular loadout, whereas on the Live Sandbox side, certainly a lot more, you know, laning focus and being able to skirmish. We'll see how Summit's going to do on the Akali as well, because this is going to take a lot more finesse if they are going to go for the 5v5s. But I do like, you know, the 2v2 on the top side. I think if Graves really gets an advantage here, and I think Croco has had run of the jungle so far, so playing through him, being able to get advantages, I think is a really smart idea here for Live Sandbox.
Indeed. We're going to jump into this game right now. I had to do it because you finished your right as we got into it.
We basically just talk over this this whole getting onto the Rift thing every time.
Was taken, so trying to challenge for it, and then goes in, finds out, like you mentioned, that it's actually free. Goes over there. A little bit of hold that thought. Effort.
Yeah, there's the Shockwave Fly in a lot of trouble here. Does have Flash, but no opportunity to use it, and that is going to be Effort's Nautilus picking up the first blood. Quite find his distance either, so no one taking very much damage there in the mid lane. Okay, Bang getting very excited as Effort. Decent CC as Lahen's just going to flash on forward. They're looking for Leo, who goes down to about 100 health as Dread is going to turn up in the nick of time. Really to ride home about, as Keen is going to make Shelly a little bit upset. And Dread's going to spot Croco here. Bowling Ball is going to connect. Now he's going to make him sleepy. Fly gets the rotation over as Fate has a command protect. Shockwave comes out yet again as Croco goes down extraordinarily low. The Ignite ticking down, but it's not going to be enough to kill him as Summit. Yeah, finally we're going to get ourselves in here as Croco might be able to just quick draw over this wall and try and contest, but it's not looking like it. Summit going to make his way in though, and Leo does have the killer instinct available. He can be there in the nick of time. And Afrika, they seem to know this as they're backing away. Effort looking for the fight now as Shockwave comes in, and Summit, massive damage into the backline. The Lilia does not last more than a couple of seconds, and now Summit's zoning everyone away. They'll also grab themselves the Rift Herald. Live Sandbox, a much better early game so far at trying to get rid of these priority targets.
Keen.
Okay, this is danger. Yep, Keen, he's real dead. Croco's going to steal that one away.
Start the Drake early, so all they could do is get a positional advantage here and try to clear up some of the vision.
Yep, as Effort's just going to flash his way in. Croco as well, a lot of damage potential as Fate. He's going to be able to lock down that kill, and now Live Sandbox are looking for it. The crash down from Lahen's, but unfortunately, it's a little bit too little too late. Bang, the Samira's doing some work, but it's just not enough. That should be the ace. As Live Sandbox, they say, well, I mean, we'll take both the Dragon and the Baron. Yep. Dread was just there for 1 second and then dead the next, as now Afrika are setting themselves up a Blast Cone attack onto Effort potentially, but Effort actually wants the fight. As you can see, the depth charge comes in. Now Leo, he's off to the side. This Kai'Sa still with Killer Instinct available. Croco trying to get out, and he actually is going to be able to. Effort probably not going to be so lucky as Summit finds the Rel in the backline. Fate trying to keep himself alive, as well as this Blast Cone eventually going to get used as Dread will fall down. Fly just evaporates as Leo spots him for half a second and then sinks the teeth in. Now Summit is hunting, but this inhibitor is not long for the world on the bottom side, and the mid lane has already been dealt with while we were looking at that replay, as Lahen's looking for another aggressive engage, but Magnet Storm's finding no value, and Effort just decides that he's going to go in and kill everyone. Double kill for Croco already, and they are way too far behind. I respect Afrika going for it, but it was unfortunately never going to happen, and Live Sandbox 18-1, an absolute shellacking here at 26 minutes. Will be taking down the Nexus, and this might be an early night, Wolf.
Could be. It could be Atlas. I think the big...
stats, and look, I mean, he doubled the damage that Fly was able to put out. Fly also having not exactly the greatest of times on his Zoe. That
Yeah.
sometimes real good, but this time was definitely not.
Well, the Zoe is also going to have a problem when the whole map belongs to Live Sandbox. You're trying to clear deep wards on your side of the jungle. You never get any pressure on the mid turret. Like, Zoe's is really going to struggle to find even shots because she doesn't have vision as to where to shoot. I think the big telling damage number in this chart, too, is unfortunately Dread on the Lilia. Not even able to do any damage on the side because the comp that they were up against just didn't allow him to do any damage in a longer fight. The fights were not long.